And my long-term students understand that I follow seasonal tendencies from a macro perspective. That means from a daily and weekly time frame. And there are certain times of the year that I like certain setups to form. In May of every calendar year, in May going into the first and second week of June, I favor shorts in stock index futures. Now, over the years, it's grown into a expression. Usually you see it as sell in May and go away. So it's kind of like an expectation that in spring there's a usual, not always, usual tendency for stock prices to descend going into June. I've been following the markets for 3 decades, and I can tell you there are certain seasonal tendencies that are just really, really strong. And one of them is this May influence going into June. So if you are looking for a way to like dial in a very specific time of year to look to be a trader or learn to be anticipating specific things in price action, there's no better one than being bearish in spring going into the summer months, and then being long in the fall months going into the end of the year, first week of February. So that tendency is not just being mentioned here. If you go on my core content lessons that I've uploaded here on YouTube, you'll hear me talk about those very things, and they keep repeating every single year. I first taught about it in 2016 in the core content lectures that paid members were listening to me teach, and the same thing verbatim repeats every single year. So in 2016, I released that content to paid members. 2017, it repeated in the marketplace. In 2018, it repeated. In 2019, it repeated. In 2020, it repeated. In 2021, it repeated. 2022, it repeated. And it's probably going to repeat again this year too. Okay? Don't be limited to just thinking it only works in the last few years. Go back as far as you can, study in old data. You'll see that they're pretty much a higher time frame roadmap for where significant price moves will form. Now, by themselves, they're not a panacea. It's not a be-all, end-all type thing where just because seasonally it's done this in the past, because the futures market are not guaranteed to deliver based on past performance. So that's why we have a risk disclaimer every time we're meeting together. But if you know that there's a strong tendency for things to repeat more times than not over many years, not just a handful of years, to me, it warrants a little bit more investigation, a little bit more concern, and study in that area, in that specific time of the year. And I'm confident you'll find that there's a gold mine in this, okay? You have to add some technicals to it too. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about that now.